Hey, FlimsyLunchTray here, and welcome to our Monday edition video, where today we are going to be in the operations scenarios at Narai, and I'm going to be showing you the transport run here with the Fiji. So Fiji is an excellent ship in Narai. Weimar is also really good. Atlanta's good. Scharnhorst is really good. So there's several really good ships that excel here in Narai, and Fiji probably used to be the top title, but I think Weimar took that title now. But I'm going to be kind of breaking down positioning here. So we started off in an excellent position for the transport run, and I did let chat know that I would like to take the transports here. Being this close means and accelerating out means I'm going to have some pretty early eyes on the destroyer, battleship, and cruiser that come out around the corner of this island. First, I'm going to go for the cruiser and see if we can get some nice Citadel hits in there. And then we're going to switch focus probably to the Wyoming because the Clemson is just about to go behind the island. It's kind of hard. When they're moving down along the opposite of these other side of these islands, they're slightly angled in, so it can kind of mess with your aiming a bit. And now we're going to switch back to the Clemson. And I'm trying to keep my distance a little bit from the Clemson. He can be a bit of a pain because he'll throw some torpedoes in if you allow him to. Since I believe it's 5.5 or 6 kilometer torpedoes. I think it's 5.5. So you have to be very mindful of him. Now I'm going to turn bow in towards the Wyoming, and he's going to go down. And then we have the Iron Duke up here we're going to have to deal with. And so I'm moving up to these rocks here, where I'm basically going to put the islands between me and him and helping me close the distance, close the gap. These torpedoes, I aim slightly further ahead. I needed to actually do just a little bit more because he picks up a little bit of speed as he comes out from behind that island. So if I would have aimed him slightly ahead, more of the torpedoes are going to land. So this is how we use the islands and coming around here. I'm kind of slowing down, maybe thinking I can get the rear turrets behind the island, but it's not meant to be. But I want to take my time in closing the gap between me and the Iron Duke because I want him to take some more damage. So then when I come out, I don't just get blapped or something like that. We'll check the torpedoes and see how they're doing. Looks like only the one is going to hit, so if we would have led a little bit more, that would have helped. So I go ahead and come out, and I'm pretty confident that we can whittle him down enough. And the team, that's the only target for my team to shoot at. So no danger of our health there. I've seen some ships, cruisers, pull out broadside here, Atlanta's, Fiji's, thinking they can just tank the Iron Duke broadside for some reason, but often get deleted. So not good. So now our goal is we're moving down towards where the transports are going to come out at. It's important to do this in the beginning because if you miss the first transport, it's a smaller ship, it can leave your visibility range. You'll be concealed the whole time and exit at the I1, J1 line. So you have to move down here in order to catch them in time. But while I'm moving down this way, I'm going to take some pot shots at the enemy cruisers here towards the middle. We have this Dallas. There's going to be Emile Bertin and an Emerald. But there's going to be two things up ahead of me. One is going to be a fort, which we should spot just now. That fort has an 8-kilometer range, so you can stay outside of that 8-kilometer range comfortably and finish them off. Fiji has a little hard time punching through the fort at range. And then there's going to be a Clemson destroyer come out and ahead, or not Clemson, a Nicholas comes out ahead of the transports out of that channel I3. Yeah, I3 I believe it is. So there's the Nicholas. So first we're going to focus on taking out the fort, and then I'm going to switch attention to the Nicholas because the fort can be a little bit of pain. He set you on fire, and so we want one less thing setting us on fire. And then as I close the distance a little bit more, it means I'm more likely to get some decent hits on the Nicholas. So now we're going to start shooting him. He smokes up to smoke up the transports coming out from behind him. And one of the things I like to do here is I like to kill my throttle because the Nicholas has decent torpedo angles and he will definitely throw torpedoes out at you. I've also seen cruisers die because they didn't take the Nicholas. They took them too lightly. So we do pop the hydroacoustic search, and you see that when we cut the throttle and turned in, we easily dodged the torpedoes. They were way off aimed, so it was a good call when we did. And now we close the distance. I'm keeping a very high tempoed pace here, where maybe the transports are already coming out of both of these two channels here. But I've been really working to go ahead and just close that distance because I want to be able to get into the bay earlier. We'll be able to do more damage. And I need to claim him before someone else grabs him. And I throw a couple of single launch torpedoes. The transports actually turn in a little bit, so I was working on trying to line these torpedoes up right. But unfortunately that's not the case. We're not going to get it. But I'm thinking now I'm close enough, I can easily grab the front transport. So I'm going to go ahead and work on shooting the rear transport, but our Strasbourg takes out the front one. So unfortunately, don't get that transport kill. And then we get him. So now we're going to go down into the channel where there's going to be two transports, and we're going to use our port side torpedoes in helping us out here. Also, of course, we want to get our guns swung over. Now, one of the dangers is when you come in the channel this early, if you're not careful, the second transport here, you can maybe accidentally ram. So you don't want to be doing that. So you have to be mindful of giving some distance. So actually here you can see he begins to turn in slightly. And we need enough arming time on our torpedo, so I need to launch that as soon as possible. The first one armed and got him. The second one, I think he was too close. And then he's dead. So doing this type of run, it takes time. I was working on it better and better. This was like my third time doing it. And this battle is actually probably a couple months old. I've just been forever to get uploaded here to the channel and just showing you different runs on the ops. So apologies for being a little longer on that. So now, because we've had this high tempo pace, we get to come into the backside of the channel here, and we get to take on this Dallas and this Campbelltown. This Campbelltown can be a real pain for the battleships who push in towards the main entrance over on F7, F8 as they come into that entrance. That can just be a real challenge for them. One thing to keep in mind is when you are on fire, the bots will switch to AP in shooting you. So we took a lot of damage there. So if you're on fire in a situation like that, just go ahead and burn your DCP because you do not want that happening. So I lost too much health there. That was on me. So just be mindful of that. When you're not on fire, there's your HE. As soon as you are on fire, the bots switch to armor piercing. Such as something to keep in mind. And that goes even for co-op too. So the fort is down, and now we're going to move towards the very back because we're keeping a high tempo pace so that we can get in here on the broadside of the ships that push out of the J10, I10, roughly speaking. Then I think there's a cruiser that comes out at J9. So we're keeping this high tempo because what the British light cruiser line does really well is it doesn't do a lot of damage to ships that are bow in or angled in, but once a cruiser starts showing enough side, that is where you begin to get a lot of damage. So we want to be able to push in. We want to be able to get to these as much as possible broadside shots so that we can punch through and get these nice black ribbons. So there goes the Omaha. And again, we're keeping up our pace. We're continuing to move along. Our team has done well so far. We've not lost anyone, so props to them. And they are protecting the escorts, so this is really good to see. Our team seems to be in a good position, but we have a Fiji that's pretty out of position up on the E10 line. So I'm slowing down because the other ships have not been detected yet. I definitely don't want this farragut to get close to my teammates, so that's why I'm slowing down here to be able to pop a shot off on him. And I was trying to guess what his speed was in my aim. And there he goes. And now we're going to go ahead and keep going. And then we're going to have some cruisers, a battleship pop up here shortly. And another destroyer. So since I'm far enough over here, I can actually comfortably go ahead and smoke. And my smoke firing penalty won't cause me to get detected. So we can get some shots on that Gallant. We can also get some shots off on the Indianapolis. The Indianapolis Citadel is just pretty much right in the midsection where you see a gap in the superstructure where like the planes are. So you can kind of see, if I'm talking there, right where I'm pointing. It's nice that I actually pointed to that while I was working on this video from a few months ago. So that's the spot we're aiming for to punch through. And there's one. And now our smoke fire penalty gets us caught by the Queen Elizabeth. And we're going to single launch torpedoes on the Queen Elizabeth. And then now we have the next ships with Colorado, Shores, and Atlanta. And we'll go ahead and pop Hydro just in case. But being in this position, we have this really nice broadside on these cruisers here. So hopefully we're going to get some more black ribbons starting off here on the Atlanta. Yeah, there's one. Trying to find that Citadel. Probably could aim a little bit lower. Well, that worked. 4. And then now we're going to switch focus to the shores. So we are actually going to be using the map border here. So I can be main, keep all my guns on the shores. So we're going to abuse that mechanic a little bit. So this has already pushed us up over 300,000 damage. The bots, when they first come out here, they're not too focused on shooting at you. I mean, you saw the shores was just beginning to. But we go ahead and pop our next repair party. And now we're going to get our starboard side torpedoes off here on the Colorado. So we got to get moved up here. Trying to aim for that bow. It's a little bit weaker in the armor to punch through here. Otherwise, if I aim just for the Citadel, I'm not going to be able to punch through with how much armor is on the side of Colorado. And yep, just in time. And so that is 13 kills here in Narai on the transport run. So this is a higher tempoed pace transport run. You can definitely take your time. But if you want to get the most damage out of the transport run, this is an example of that being so you can get back into port as soon as possible. So we're going to 5-star this operation. We achieved all the objectives. Here you can see the rewards for the 1-star, 2-star, 3-star, and the 4-star, which gets you Elite Commander XP and free XP, and then 1 day of premium if you 5-star it. So 370,000 damage. First off, we have natural selection here. Then you have tactical expertise. That is if all of your teammates survive. Then you have C-star, or I think it's damage equal to or more than 100% of your own ship. Major contribution means you do a lot of damage to the enemy bots. And then assistant, so 10% to at least half the enemy team. So yeah, so really good. You can see a lot, 337 main battery hits and the 9 torpedo hits and 23 black ribbons. So and we even got a good amount of secondary hits too. You don't see that too often with Fiji. So we're going to top the team with over 2,300 base experience. We definitely put the hurt on the enemy bots and pushing along the transport route. So just really good stuff overall. And then I'm going to show you some different screenshots of the post-battle, the detailed report. Because a lot of different ships we damaged, so just 5 seconds kind of scrolling through what ships we destroyed, what ones we did damage to. So you can see the lineup there. I'm going through. And then credits and experience. So you can actually farm quite a bit of credits in XP. Maybe you're grinding a tier 7 ship and like the tier 7 Italian battleship Cracciolo, if I'm saying that right. I've taken it here in Narai. I've done it with the Russian tier 7 destroyer Minsk. There's just a lot of different ships that you can use Narai for at tier 7 to help grind if you want a little bit of a break from something like randoms or ranked battles for that matter. And I was definitely using the Tier 7 German battle cruiser line. I can't remember the name of that ship right now. And being able to come up through here. I think it's the Prince Heinrich, isn't it? I was like, is it Tier 7? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it is. So this is transport run here on Narai. Again, high tempoed. You don't have to go as fast as I did, but I just show you what you can get out of that run if you kind of go for it, use the islands for coverage and closing a distance and being able to get back into the enemy base to be able to get those nice broadside shots on the destroyers, cruisers, and battleships and using your torpedoes. And that's why Weimar is really powerful, because she has more torpedoes than Fiji, so she can easily end up increasing those numbers, especially on the CV run. So that will probably be my next goal at some point. We'll do the CV run. I found a video for the CV run where I think it's 487,000 damage, but I can't find the post-battle results, screenshot images, so that's a bit of a pain. So I don't know, maybe I'll just try to do it again next time Narai comes back around and see if we can't break that 500,000 barrier, or, you know, there's people who can break the 600,000 barrier as well on Narai. It's possible, but it's very robotic and it's very strategic with what points you have to be in launching torpedoes, so on and so forth. So if you liked today's video, give it a thumbs up. If you did not, give it a thumbs down. Subscribe if you do want to see more. If you're subscribed, thanks so much. I really appreciate it, and we'll catch you next time. Take care.